32. On Level Top Mountain the sentinel brings a message. At Lotus Flower Cave Wood Mother meets disaster. We were telling you about the Tang monk, who acquired again the service of Pilgrim Sun. Master and disciples thereupon embarked on the road to the west, united once more in heart and mind. After they had rescued the princess of the precious image kingdom, and been sent off by its king and officials, they journeyed without ceasing, taking food and drink when they hungered and thirsted, resting by night and traveling by day. Soon it was again the time of triple spring, a season when light breezes blow on willow green as silk. A lovely scene most fit for verse. The times hasten bird songs. The warmth kindles flowers. Fragrant blooms all around. A pair of swallows comes to the apple court. Just in time to enjoy spring. Red dust on purple paths. Strings, pipes, and the silk gowns. Games, and passing the wine cups. As master and disciples walked and enjoyed the scenery, they found another mountain barring their way. "Disciples," said the Tang monk, "please be careful. We have a tall mountain before us, and I fear that tigers and wolves might be here to obstruct us." "Master," said Pilgrim, "a man who has left the family should not speak as those who remain in the family. Don't you remember the words of the Heart Sutra given to you by that crow's nest priest, no hindrances, and therefore, no terror or fear? He is far removed from error and delusion. Only you must sweep away the filth of your mind, and wash off the dust by your ears, not tasting the most painful of pain. You'll never be a man among men. You mustn't worry, for if you have Old Monkey, everything will be all right even if the sky collapses. Don't be afraid of any tiger or wolf." Pulling in the reins of his horse, the elder said, "Since I departed Chang'an that year by decree, my sole thought fixed on Buddha in the west. That bright, golden image in Sari land. Those jade-white brows in the pagoda blessed. I searched through this world's waters without name. I climbed all the mountains unscaled by man. Fold upon fold the mists and waves extend. When can I myself true leisure attain?" When Pilgrim heard what he said, he roared with laughter, saying, "If master wants true leisure, it's not that difficult. When you achieve your merit, then all the nidanas will cease and all forms will be but emptiness. At that time, leisure will come to you most naturally." Hearing these words, the elder had to be content to put aside his anxiety and urge his horse on. Master and disciples began to ascend the mountain, which was truly rugged and treacherous. Marvelous mountain. The tall, rugged peak. The sharp, pointed summit. Within the deep, winding brook. Beside the lone, rugged cliff. Within the deep, winding brook. You hear water loudly splashing as a serpent turns. Beside the lone, rugged cliff. You see the big mountain tiger wagging its tail. Look above. The jutting peaks stab through the green sky. Turn your eyes. The canyon's deep and dark as the Empyrean. Start climbing. It's like a ladder, a stair. Walk down there. It's like a moat, a ditch. It's truly a weird, hillocked range. It's indeed a steep-banked precipice. On top of the hillocked range, the herb picker is wary of walking. Before the precipice, the woodsman finds it hard to move an inch. Foreign goats and wild horses madly gallop. Wily hares and mountain bulls seem to form in ranks. The mountain's height does hide the sun and stars. One often meets strange creatures and white wolves. Through dense grassy path the horse can hardly pass. How could one see Buddha at Thunderclap? As the elder pulled back his horse to survey this mountain, which was so difficult to ascend, he saw a woodcutter standing on the green slope above. How was he dressed, you ask? His head wore an old rain hat of blue felt. He had on him a monk robe of black wool. The old rain hat of blue felt. Indeed a rare thing to ward off sunlight and mists. The monk robe of black wool. a sign of utter contentment rarely seen. His hands held a steel axe polished highly. He tied his machete-cut firewood firmly. The spring hues at the ends of his pole quietly overflowed in all 4 seasons. His carefree life as a recluse had always been blessed by the 3 stars. He resigned himself to grow old in his lot. What glory or shame could invade his world? That woodcutter was just chopping firewood before the slope, when the elder came abruptly from the east. He stopped his axe to go out of the woods, and walked with big strides up the rocky ledge. In a severe voice, he cried out to the elder. "The elder, who is going toward the west, please stop for a moment. I have something to tell you. There is a bunch of vicious demons and cruel monsters in this mountain devoted to eating travelers who come from the east and go toward the west." When the elder heard what he said, his spirit left him and his soul fled. He shook so violently that he could hardly sit on the saddle. Turning around quickly, he shouted to his disciples, "Did you hear what the woodcutter said about the vicious demons and cruel monsters? Which of you dare go and ask him in greater detail?" "Master, relax," said Pilgrim. "Old Monkey will go and question him thoroughly." "Dear Pilgrim." He strode up the mountain and addressed the woodcutter as Big Brother. Before bowing to him with folded hands, the woodcutter returned his greeting, saying, "Elder, why did you people come here?" "To tell you the truth, Big Brother," said Pilgrim. "We were sent from the land of the east to go acquire scriptures in the western heaven. That one on the horse is my master. He is rather timid. When he heard just now what you said about vicious demons and cruel monsters, he asked me to question you. For how many years have there been demons and monsters? Are they real professionals, or are they just amateurs? Let Big Brother take the trouble to tell me, so that I may order the mountain god and the local spirit to send them away in custody." When the woodcutter heard these words, he faced the sky and roared with laughter, saying, "So, you are really a mad monk?" "I am not mad," said Pilgrim. "And this is the honest truth. If you are honest," said the woodcutter, "how dare you talk about sending them away in custody?" Pilgrim said, "The way you are magnifying their power, the way you have stopped us with your foolish announcement and silly report, could it be that you are somehow related to these monsters? If you are not a relative, you must be a neighbor. If not a neighbor, you must be a friend. You mad, impudent monk," said the woodcutter, laughing. "You are so unreasonable. My intentions were good, and that was why I made a special effort to bring this message to you, so that you could take precaution at all times when you journey. Now you are blaming me instead. Let's not say just yet that I don't know anything about the origin of those monsters. But suppose you have found that out, how would you dispose of them? Where would you send them away in custody? If they are demons from heaven," said Pilgrim, "I'll send them to see the Jade Emperor. If they are demons of earth, I'll send them to the palace of earth. Those of the west will be returned to Buddha. Those of the east will be returned to the sages. Those of the north will be returned to Jinwu. Those of the south will be returned to Mars. If they are dragon spirits, they will be sent to the lords of oceans. If they are ghosts and ogres, they will be sent to King Yama. Every class has its proper place and direction, and Old Monkey is familiar with all of them. All I need to do is to issue a court order, and they will be sent off in a hurry. Even at night." The woodcutter could hardly stop his scornful laughter, saying, "You mad, impudent monk. You must have made a pilgrimage to some place and learned some paltry magic of drawing up charms and casting spells with water. You may be able to drive away demons and suppress ghosts, but you have never run into such vicious and cruel monsters." "In what way are they vicious and cruel?" asked Pilgrim. The woodcutter said, "The length of this mountain range is about 600 miles, and it's called the Level Top Mountain. In the mountain is a cave by the name of Lotus Flower Cave. There are 2 old demons in the cave who had portraits made with the intent to catch the priests, and who had names and surnames written down because they insisted on eating the Tang monk. If you have come from another region, you might get by, but if you are in any way associated with the word Tang, you'll never pass here. We are exactly those who have come from the Tang court, said Pilgrim. The woodcutter said. And they specifically want to devour you. Lucky. Lucky, said Pilgrim. How would they like to eat us? Why do you ask? Said the woodcutter. If they want to eat me headfirst, said Pilgrim. It's still manageable, but if they want to eat me feet first, it'll be more bothersome. The woodcutter asked. What's the difference between eating you headfirst and feet first? You haven't experienced this, replied Pilgrim. If he eats me headfirst, 1 bite will kill me, of course. Even if he were to fry, sauté, braise, or boil me thereafter, I wouldn't know the pain. But if he eats me feet first, he can start by munching on my shanks, and then proceed to gnaw on my thighs. He can devour me up to my pelvic bones, and I still might not die in a hurry. Will I not be left to suffer bit by bit? That's why it is bothersome. Monk, said the woodcutter. He is not going to spend all that effort on you. All he wants is to catch you and have you bound in a large steamer. Once you are cooked, he'll eat you whole. That's even better. That's even better, said Pilgrim, chuckling. There won't be pain. I have to endure a little stuffiness, that's all. Don't be so sassy, monk, said the woodcutter. For those monsters have with them 5 treasures which possess tremendous magic powers.